Hello, and welcome to this webinar on planning for audit success, understanding systems and controls. My name is Richard Hemmings, and I'll be presenting this webinar. My background is, unsurprisingly, as an auditor, and the last 10 years or so I've been working primarily with small and medium-sized firms, helping them provide technical support on their audit functions and their approach to auditing. And understanding systems and controls is often a big part of that, particularly making sure firms get the best out of the time they spend at the planning stage. So in this webinar, we will be looking at three main sections really: understanding and documenting the client systems, understanding internal control, and also in particular the control activities that we need to understand. And I think in particular in respect of that part is understanding the requirements that are applied to all audits and making sure that those requirements are addressed but are done so in an efficient and effective way. And then lastly, going to pick up on understanding the client's use of IT and how that fits into the understanding an auditor has of the client's systems, and also what they need to do in respect of the client's kind of controls around that use of IT. And that particular area is a newish requirement that's been beefed up a lot more in the most recent iteration of ISA 315, which is the relevant auditing standard here. So this is still an area that I know a lot of firms that I work with, not say struggle with, but they're slowly coming to grips more and more with making the best out of those requirements and understanding how they impact the particular audits that they work on. So let's start off then by having a look at understanding systems. And this will be a relatively brief part, but I think it's an important foundation. So as part of an audit, it is a requirement for the auditor to understand the client systems. And there's two main reasons for this. First of all, we want to identify risks. It's through understanding the client system that you're able to identify where things might go wrong, and we can provide advice to the client. But really importantly, and primarily for the audit perspective, is to identify where things might go wrong that give rise to material misstatements in the financial statements. Because ultimately, that's what the auditor is really focused on. So to what extent do these weaknesses give rise to risks of material misstatement in the accounts? But also we need to understand these systems. So when we come to design our tests later on in the audit, we understand the system that we're actually testing, and we can understand the pieces of information that we're going to use and the directions of testing and so on. That is all based on the understanding of the system. So it's a really, really important foundation part of the audit.